Hey, Kay Cooper. No, I'm not up very late. I'm actually up very early. I have to take off in just a couple of hours, but I thought I'd hop on for the UK crowd and see what the UK crowd thinks of the interview with Harry and Meghan. But it looks like everybody else is asleep. I think it's cute that there are six of us here and one of the other five, I guess would say, is commenting. So we have five people who are watching. What did you think of it, Kay Cooper? Do you believe the claims made by Meghan? I'm just curious. I'll tell you my impression of the entire interview is I think it was great acting and not even that great of acting, but I do think it was acting. I think that when she made the claim that there was a comment made that she was trying to do her best to do the drama, I don't think that any comment was ever made in a negative way at all. I agree with you. I highly doubt that anybody said anything racist at all. I'm also curious why it would be that a person who claims to have, so much strength and to believe that women are so strong, that she would be going to HR at the palace, human resources at the palace, if she felt she needed a doctor. They have a doctor for the royal family. Why didn't she go to the doctor? And she certainly has a cell phone. I'm sure she could call and reach out for help, right? Hey, Marina, we're discussing the Harry and Meghan interview. Have you seen it? It just doesn't make sense to me that if she can, hop on a jet and fly to New York City, I think it was for her baby shower, right? That she wouldn't be able to, hop in a car and go see a doctor. Yes, Puff Piece. He's an advocate for mental health services, and he said he was ashamed to ask for help. Yeah, okay. I think that's what their PR people came up with as their excuse for not wanting to do the work, you know, that their roles required of them. Marina says, I'm not crazy about Meghan. I am not crazy about Meghan either. And I think it's interesting how the mainstream media is spinning everything. I really think it's just some kind of hoopla. I really do. But it would explain, I guess, how she took the baby and left. Wasn't she in Canada for like a month without Harry? I don't believe it, you know? I don't. I don't believe any of it. I think that her sister Samantha was being very truthful when she first spoke out. I think her father has been very truthful. And I think it's really sad that so many people are basically taking those claims and acting as if it's true, right? What she said. Well, what if it isn't true? Just imagine being a member of the royal family and hearing that interview. Oh, Lady C is great, Marina. Her last video upload about the interview was excellent. I agree with everything she said in that video. Except she said that at the beginning of the interview that Meghan did a really good job of, presenting herself. And I disagree because when I listened to it, I was like, yeah, okay, right, honey. Yeah, okay, right, honey. All the way through. Maybe I'm just too cynical, but I was just like, oh, brother, did she just say that? Puff piece, I agree with you. There are similarities that I've noted too. Isn't it interesting? Or maybe we're just so obsessed with the case of Christopher Watts that we're seeing it everywhere. Puffy said Lady C tries to be balanced so she won't get sued. Well, listen to her last video because she isn't sounding like she's being, like she's too concerned about that. But you're right, she does mention that from time to time. She'll say, I'm doing it this way so that I don't get sued. I love her. You know what, though? I've always wondered how old is she? Because I've always thought, like, is she like 90 something or whatever? And she's just like really well preserved and sharp as a tack? But she said in one of her recent videos that she's 71 years old. And I'm like, really? I mean, she's beautiful and everything, and she's so well spoken. She's so intelligent. And I love Castle Goring, don't you? And her dog Mickey is such a cutie. But when she said she was 71 years old, I'm like, really? Because I actually thought she was like in her 90s. I really did. I'm not trying to be mean at all, but she just has that. It's like she's from another era. She's from a whole nother generation or two before us. So when she said 71, I'm like, what? She's not even like, she's 10 years older than me. 10 years older than me. And I look at her and I just go, huh? Really? 71? No. I wonder if maybe she isn't 71. You know how back in the day, how women used to lie about their age? You know, how people would say they were 29 when they were 40. Maybe there's a little bit of that going on because to me, she seems older than 71. Puff P says she says she uses the cheapest possible skincare. Okay, well there we have it right there. Don't use the cheapest possible because she has a few wrinkles. Yes, her dog is adorable. He always sits right next to her, and then I think it's so cute. She'll be talking away with her serious tone, and then she'll go, "Oh, Mickey!" And she turns into her mommy voice really fast. It's so cute. But yeah, her last video is really good. What do you think about Piers Morgan and his reaction? And also another one, have you guys watched Lady, or not Lady, who had it's called According to Taz? Have you watched that? And the other one I was thinking of was Yankee Wally. Her dogs were more sapphires than me. That's a good point. I bet I bet that little Mickey is a lucky dog, huh? I know it. I know the kind. That's what she does. She'll be talking along and she'll be like, "Yes, so I can tell you that I had a narcissist mother." Oh, Mickey! Yes, Taz and Wally are both hilarious. I really like Yankee Wally. And I really like According to Taz also. There's another one that I think does a good job, and that's Princess Tiffany. And then there are a couple of other ones too, like Murky Meg, and I think it's Celt News. But I don't really find theirs as interesting, their videos as interesting. Well, Lady C is number one. And then I would say number two would probably be Yankee Wally with According to Taz at a close third. And don't you think that Misha did a great job? Although, what was the kid's name before Misha? I can't remember. The kid from France, remember? Yes, her son is so respectful. Her son is so kind. And I like the way they do the "How are you?" And then Misha will go, "I'm well, thank you. How are you?" Like it's probably the third time that they started the video. They're like, "Okay, now stop laughing. Let's just do this." And then, "How are you?" "I'm well, thank you. And you?" Tree of a Kind says, "I love Taz," or according to Taz. "She's awesome. Watch her all the time. She does her research and knows her facts." I love the way she said something one time, and she's been doing it ever since. She's like, "Hey guys, well, you know what? Since nobody wants to hear about my hair color, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my hair color." It's kind of like her polite, forget you people. There was another one too, and I can't think of her name. She was very pretty. She said she wanted to be an actress. Oh, what was her name? But I haven't seen her making any videos lately. I wonder if the sugars got to her. It's so funny, isn't it? Three of a kind. It is so hilarious because she'll go, "Well, my husband and I went camping this weekend." And you know that she's just irritating the sugars. Yes, that's who it is. Yes, that's who it is. Very pretty, very well spoken. I watched the one. Did you see the one? It was quite a few months ago where she interviewed Lady C. I thought that was really interesting. And good for her for getting that interview because Lady C, is the bomb, of course. But if I was going to rate the channels, let's see, I would say Lady C, of course, number one. And she's like way above the rest. She's like way above the crowd, right? So Lady C wins hands down. And then I really like Yankee Wally. And I don't know why, because she's kind of like not focused. She's kind of like, oh, it's here somewhere. I'll find it. Sorry, guys, it's here somewhere. But I still really like how she is. I guess I do like According to Taz a little bit better for that reason because Yankee Wally's kind of like all over the place. But I do like the stuff that Yankee Wally says because you can tell she's just, off the cuff saying what she thinks. She's like, "Oh, look at this! Look at this! Look at what I saw on Twitter." But what do you think about the Sugars? Have you seen them in action? I think the Sugars kind of make the Shiners look like B grade, The Sugars are the A team. I think the Shiners were like the recruits who were trying to act like the Sugars. I guess you get what you pay for. And really, that's it. Because I know Murky Meg was saying, I think Celt News, Murky Meg, and Yankee Wally have all said how they've been harassed really bad by the Sugars. There was another Nutmeg Harry Royal reporting channel I came across the other day. Her channel name is Sue Smith. I quite like her videos. Oh, I've never heard of her. I'll have to check it out. Tree of a Kind says the Sugars are as nutty as their idol Nutmeg. Well, I think it's really unfortunate that the race card gets played because I don't believe that she wasn't treated well. I think she was treated better than Kate was treated. She acts like Kate had it easy and she had it hard. No, the paparazzi was chasing Kate around when she was just a kid at university. The paparazzi was making Kate's life a living hell for years, right? Remember that Waity Katie? Remember that? That was years ago. They were treating her like crap for years. Nobody protected her. I think that they were treating Nutmeg with absolute kid gloves, and I think that they catered to her, and I think that they were probably all afraid of her. And didn't they worry about her taping people and spying and everything too? Puff Piece says, I thought that interview was just like Nutgate, one big lie to do maximum damage. I think so too. I think you're right. Kate Cooper says, I love Katie or Kate. I was thinking weighty Katie. I love Kate. She's a real classy woman. Meghan is a spoiled brat. I agree with you. Hi Jane. Yeah, I thought I would click on. I have to take off and I'm looking at what time it is here. I have about 20 minutes really and then I have to get off of here and start my day. I had to get up super early so I thought, well, I'll hop on for the UK crowd because I know you guys have different hours than we have. So I figured I'd hop on and see what y'all think about the interview with H&M. I do think that Kate is absolutely queen consort material. Definitely. I think both William and Kate are just top notch, decent, wonderful people. And did you hear that people were saying that it was actually Nutmeg? That's what the rumor is, that it was Nutmeg who started the rumor about Will having an affair with one of Kate's friends. Did you hear about that? Little Packet says she's such a bad actress and liar because she couldn't get her own way. And you know what? Isn't that interesting? It was like she thought she was going to be like the queen or something, and then she was pissy when she found out that she wasn't going to be queen. Didn't she study Princess Diana? Didn't she have like a book rack full of Princess Diana books when she was a kid and everything? And then didn't she lie about it and say she didn't know anything about Princess Diana? I think that was in the engagement interview. And then she said that her mother didn't know anything at all about Princess Diana's interview. They treated her really well. And look at what is going on now. And I'll tell you something. Jane says, we all love Harry. He's so like Mom. I don't love Harry anymore. I think a lot of us used to, but I don't love him anymore. I think what he's pulling is just plain wrong. Puffy says that she stated on TV she was suicidal and threatened to kill. What? Threatened to kill her child? I never heard that. Little Pekka, are you in the UK or are you in the US? Because I think most people in the US can see right through it all. Little Packet says, according to Taz, is a great channel. Yes, it is. I love how she's so real, you know? Remember when she was talking about, remember that man, was it Admiral Tom or Captain Tom or something? And the Queen knighted him, so he's Sir something Tom. When she was talking about him, she actually started to cry. It was so sweet, the way she talked about him. Three of a Kind says nobody loves Has anymore. How come? Why not? Or wait, who is Has? Are you talking about Taz? Or is Has some sort of a name for the Markles, Harkles, whatever you call it? Marina says Meghan is not classy. You can ask the elm tree for pears. Well, in Lady C's last video, she says that Meghan would use the word classy, but she basically talked about how she wasn't. She does have a thing for style, but did you notice in the interview she had her hands on her belly like the whole time? Like, hey, I'm pregnant. Just like the first time, right? The bump. Here it is. Captain Sir Tom Moore. That was sweet the way she talked about him. Yeah, did you see the one where she started to cry? It was so sweet. Oh, here it is. Okay. Three of a Kind says that Has is what Nutty nicknamed Harry. Are you kidding me? And called him during his James Corden interview. Did you hear that Harry said that their baby's first word was crocodile? Crocodile? Lady C talks about it in one of her videos. And she's like, there's no way his first word was crocodile. She's so funny. She's like, a baby doesn't say a 3-syllable word for his first word. But crocodile evidently has some meaning in the Urban Dictionary. So it's kind of weird. What, he skipped right over mama, dada? He's just going to say crocodile. And then people are saying, well, Maybe he was looking at his mom when he said it and stuff like that. People are, they get so snarky about stuff like that. Little Packet says, "Oh, I was talking about the channel according to Taz. I have zero respect for Harry now." Yeah, I used to have respect for Harry, but not anymore. Three of a kind says, "First word crocodile, my Aunt Fanny." Frey is evidently upset because we're not talking about Christopher Watts. We actually did talk a little bit about it at the beginning. If you want to talk about the comparisons, we kind of covered that, but feel free. But yeah, I highly doubt that any child's first word is crocodile. And I think Lady C made the point very well that it's like they don't realize how some of the stuff they're saying just doesn't ring true. It just doesn't. I didn't like the way that Oprah reacted to the statements either, because if you're going to sit there and go, "Oh, yeah, somebody said whatever, XYZ," then who said it and in what context? No, it's automatically bad what was said without having any real information. I think it's just wrong. I think it's terrible. With the health problems right now that Harry's grandfather is having, I think it makes it even worse. It's just like with Thomas Markle having health problems or with Samantha Markle having health problems. I agree with you, Puff Piece. I definitely agree with you. And here's something else. I don't know who said it. It might have been Piers Morgan, so I don't know if, who knows. Because you remember he's kind of upset because, you know, Meghan ghosted him after their first date. So I think that bugs him still. But I think it was him who said that Meghan acts like she's half and half for percentage, like 50%, but she's actually, maybe it was Lady C who said it. I think they said that her mom is, and then she's like a quarter at the most. So that's kind of disingenuous. It's also disingenuous, like Lady C said, to basically deny that for years, to be a part of white privilege for years, right? She's a product of white privilege, you guys. She's definitely a product of white privilege. She joined what kind of sorority? Hmm. She said she was what race? Right? She is a product of white privilege, and so is Harry. So for them to get up there and talk about how other people you know, shouldn't buy a car unless it gets really good gas mileage, right? Well, they hop on their jet to go to a baby shower? Oh, okay. Ray says, "Bye, everyone. Lots of love." And I don't know, it's kind of like the case of Christopher Watts. What exactly have they accomplished? you know, they're so successful, but what exactly have they accomplished? I mean, what, we're supposed to go, ooh, wow, because of who Harry's parents were? or who Meghan married. I don't know, is that ooh wow? What have they actually accomplished besides pissing off, people in Canada, pissing off people in the UK, pissing off people in the US? you know, they're really good at pissing people off. And did you watch, I think it was according to Taz who said this, that on the day of some, like a memorial service, I think, for fallen soldiers, that instead of going there, and Harry said he would be there according to Taz, they canceled and instead they went to that Disney thing and he was trying to get a job for Meghan. I think that was to try to get the job for her to read the script for that elephant video, remember? Kay Cooper says they're trying hard to accomplish victimhood. I agree with you. And I really have a tough time figuring out any way that either one of them has ever been a victim. And at the same time, look at the mainstream media. They're just running with it. They're like, oh, the royal family is racist. No, they're not. And you know what? They act like Meghan was the first multiracial person. Lady C makes a good point. Harry and William are multiracial. Little Becca says Harry's a wimp. Okay, now here we go into the case of Christopher Watts, right? Like, at what point does he say, wait a minute here, maybe this isn't okay. Maybe I shouldn't be treating my family this way, right? Puff P says it was funny when they said they got cut off. Exactly. And did they get cut off? Because how long was it that they weren't paying for Frogmore renovations? Did they get cut off, or is, you know, Prince Charles still paying? Three of a Kind says, I was so mad about this interview and I haven't even watched it in its entirety yet. I'm totally team Piers. I actually don't like Piers because of the crap he was always saying about the Second Amendment. And I was actually really glad when he left and went back to the UK because I think he's kind of a dweeb. But when it comes to the Meghan and Harry thing, I agree with him every step of the way. And I think, that one woman who he's on that show with, notice how she always crosses her arms and gets literally defensive, right? And she's like, well, I don't think we can discount what she says. Well, maybe we can. Maybe Piers Morgan is right. Oh, did he leave? Or do you mean he just walked off the stage? I don't hear that he left. If so, though, he'll have his own show in no time. But if you look at the group that was there and what they were saying, I would have left. That one guy kept on baiting him, trying to bait him, saying, well, yeah, the way you feel about Meghan, stuff like that. I thought he did a good job saying, stop it. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't blame him, though. I don't blame him because when I was listening to the day before that, there was garbage, and then they took off on it again. I don't blame them. I don't get what you just said, Tracy 101. I'm so with 3. I don't get that. I didn't know Puff Piece. I knew he walked out. I watched that part, but I didn't know that he quit the job. Well, you know what I think is happening? I think he's supposed to go along with the mainstream media narrative, and I think he's just like disgusted by it because they had a bunch of people on there. Oh, gee, the royal family. She went for help and nobody would help her. It's like, what? What? She's so independent, right? I think she could have gotten help without going to the head of the human resources department. Why would the human resources department help her? That wouldn't have been their job. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what the investigation into the allegations about her being abusive toward the staff. I don't know, maybe that's why she's coming out making allegations of her own to try to, you know, muddy up the waters so people aren't talking about what the employees who quit because of the way they're saying the way she treated them. Puffy says the abuse is real. They will investigate the crap she pulled in Australia too. Oh, is that with when she threw hot tea on one of the servants? Kate Cooper says, I remember when Princess Di died and everyone was devastated. Princess Di seemed like the most amazing person. So sad. I think that Meghan is trying to act just like her. Yes, and swearing at, and they were the host and hostess, right? And she was swearing at them. And I think she actually threw hot tea on one of the waiters or something. I know Puffy says they are the Queen's representatives. I think her lack of respect for the royal family is just so disgusting. And the way she treats the whole Kate issue, you can tell she's jealous of her. You remember the part where she was wearing the green and I think Kate was wearing the red? They all had the really bold primary colors on, right? You could just tell her smile just seems so fake. Oh my goodness, it seems so fake. Where Kate seems so genuine. Kate Cooper says, I think from the beginning, Meghan was very jealous over Kate, and she doesn't, and she's something to be loved like Diana was. Right. I think she wants to be the next people's princess, and sorry, not going to happen. But you remember when they left? Remember how everyone was going like, "What the heck is going on? Why would they do that? What's going on?" Well, now we know she was evidently telling Harry she was suicidal. I think the Queen's statement was very generous, but I noticed something in her statement. She said that they will always they that Harry and Meghan will always be, loved members of the family, whatever. I thought, well, she's always generous with her statements about Meghan, but it's just disgusting. I feel sorry for Kate the most. If it's true what they're saying, that that was Meghan who started that rumor about William having an affair, that's real life crap. I mean, shame on her. If that's something that she tried to pull, that is terrible. And I noticed that the Sugars are always posting, why do they care about trying to, say mean things about Meghan when they should really be talking about Prince Andrew? It's like, what? Why are they dragging Prince Andrew into, you know, any of the allegations? Puffy says Meghan is the ultimate mean girl. Well, I put the M and H thing in the title to see how many of us are Princess Diana fans. I know the other night the live chat went into the Elvis fan club, so I was kind of wondering how many Princess Diana fans we had. Murphy's Law said all of it should have been kept private. Harry's grandfather is in hospital. How callous to do an interview at this time. I agree with you, Murphy's Law. And I personally think that if she wanted help, she would have definitely had resources that a lot of people don't have. She had every opportunity to get whatever help she needed. The thought that she would have gone to the human resources person makes no sense. Human resources is not there to provide whatever Harry's wife wanted. Why would she have gone there? They had a doctor. Obviously, she has a doctor. Or if she doesn't have a primary care physician, then she obviously knows how to find a doctor. She isn't 19. And even at age 19, you know how to find a doctor. Kay Cooper says that Prince Andrew is only a deflection away from Meghan's awful behavior. I agree with you. And you guys are familiar with abuse, right? Yell, 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 insult, 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 right? It's like she's yelling at her employees, and I use that term loosely because the people she was yelling at, from what I read, it sounds like they worked for the royal family for many years with no problems, right? So she's yelling at them, treating them like crap, according to the allegations that they've made. So she's the one yelling, insulting, throwing hot tea, having her temper tantrum, and then she's the victim. Okay, really? Three of a Kind says, I was really hoping Oprah would ask her about her bizarre bump clutching. Yeah, but remember, she invited Oprah to the wedding even before she met her, right? She invited Oprah to the wedding. I think it was George Clooney and his wife too who were invited, and she hadn't met them either. So, Oprah knows how to position her interviews and how to ask the questions so that she can, get the responses. I think, obviously, I don't think any of it was by accident what was said. But yeah, that whole bump clutching is kind of weird. Have you guys seen the video where they compare the outfits that Meghan has been wearing with the outfits that Princess Diana wore? She is like absolutely trying to act like she's Princess Diana. I think it's how she's keeping her claws into Harry. Murphy's Law says absolutely. She had every opportunity to get and pay for her own help. She chose her own team for Archie's birth and didn't go to the normal hospital that all royals used. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know, what do you think about that too? Puff Piece, I think you're right. I think she's Diana's stalker. That's what people are saying, Puff Piece. Kay Cooper believes that this will absolutely bite them in the butt one day. I think it already has. They can go ahead and have mainstream media saying whatever they want. They can go ahead and have a bunch of sugars flooding social media. But I think, kind of like the case of Christopher Watts, a lot of the people talking about it in private where they're not getting attacked look at those videos and say, wow, this seems pretty obvious. I think it's the same with the Harry and Meghan interview. I think that even if the mainstream media wants to run and try to create division and try to act like the royal family is so bad, right? And I don't think they're bad at all. I think they made a mistake in not cutting them off a lot sooner. I think they should remove their titles for sure. I think that the taxpayers in the UK deserve better. Pat Lamb says, what about their wedding? In the ceremony, their legal names were not used. Well, Pat Lamb, I think they got married 2 weeks before. Did you know that? I think they got married 2 weeks before, and by the time they had that big church wedding, they were already married. Pat Lamb says that the Church of England did not follow protocol. I don't think it was protocol for her to even be married in the Church of England, right? I don't know. You tell me. Do you think it was protocol for them to be married? I think that's why they got married a couple of weeks earlier. I think that the royal family is going to come out of this really with more respect than before for how well they've been treating her, even though she's been acting this way. The other thing is, if she wants help, then I think the royal family should help her get help, you know, because I think she needs help. I do. I think she needs help. If she thinks she's going to go do an interview and make allegations, you know, how long was she there? Didn't she live with Harry for a long time before they even got married, right? And then she acts like she didn't know what to expect. And then she acts mad, or actually more like the victim, because their son wasn't going to be a prince. That isn't anything about their son. Their son isn't going to be a prince because that is something that was already set like 100 years ago. So with all of the homework that she was doing on Princess Diana, she should have done a little history homework too. Hey, Susie. We're just having an early morning in the US discussion on the interview. I figured with all the Elvis fans we had in here the other night that we'd probably have a group of Princess Diana fans too. Murphy's Law says he can't be a prince until Charles becomes king. Is that how it works? Because actually, isn't George and Louis, aren't they both princes? I thought it had to do with the succession to the throne. Kay Cooper says, I think Meghan grew up in a single mother household. Actually, she grew up in a single father household. Her dad raised her. Pat Lamb says, I refuse to watch the interview. I don't want her to profit anymore from her time and the royal family. I think the queen should hurry up and boot them out for good. Marina says, Meghan was divorced. Isn't it the same rules as with Catholics? Can't marry by church twice if not widowed or annulled. Gabby says, changed her religion from Catholic to Church of England and they lived together for 6 months at Kensington Palace before they married. I heard they lived together for a year. And I also heard they actually got married 2 weeks before the wedding. Jason makes a good point. Can anyone else see the Lana Banana next case should be getting some binders together for Prince Harry? Well, you know, the comparisons are there. I'm sorry. The comparisons are there. People watch the videos and go, huh? Marina says William and Harry are not princes. I think they are princes. They're dukes, yes, but I think they are princes. Well, let's go ahead and Google it. You know, Google knows everything, right? Let's see here. Let's see. Are Wills and Harry princes? Oh, the first article that pops up is about the royal feud. Okay, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. We'll go to our favorite wiki. He is the sixth in line. So his official title is Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. Right, I think they are both puff piece. Because his official title is Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. But his children are not princes and princesses because it's something about, I don't know what the law is, but it's something about the, like Prince William's children are princes and princes, little Princess Charlotte and Prince George and Prince Louis. But Harry's children would not be prince and princess. And the way the interview's sounding is like, aw, they're just doing that to be mean. No, it's only how it's been for 100 years. Right, Marina. Why is he still in line for the throne? Why? I think that the Queen and I think Prince Charles both are letting the taxpayers of the UK down by not taking action to remove him, to remove his titles and to remove him from the line of succession. Jason says he wishes his family had an HR department because he's got some grievances. Well, it makes no sense that somebody who presents herself as being, so successful that she wouldn't know that if she needs psychological help to call a psychiatrist, call a psychologist, call a counselor. No, she goes to HR. Like, okay, little common sense here, people. Okay, I've got to run now. Sorry, guys, but I promised myself I would be short and sweet on this. I just figured we'd have a quick little chat on the H&M interview. So I'm glad you guys joined me on it, and let's see how this plays out. I don't know, maybe the Queen will actually take action now to remove his titles, hopefully. So everyone have a great day. Kay Cooper says, have a great day. Have a good day. Sharon just got here. Sorry, Sharon. We're saying goodbye now. But we're gonna do another chat here in a couple days. Do you guys remember the photo op video with all the pictures? I'm thinking I'll do that one because the nursing school one is on my other computer, so the photo op one is easier for me to find. I'll be lazy this week. So we'll take a look at the photo op video for the next live chat. Oh, good. You remember it, Kay? Kay Cooper says that's a good one. Good. That's what I thought too. When I was searching for the nursing school one, I saw the photo op one and I'm like, oh yeah, we'll do that one. Daisy Days says hello and goodbye. Sorry, you guys, but I've got to get ready and get busy here. I have way too much to do today. It'll be fun though. Tracy says good night, MM. Where are you, Tracy? Wait, let me think. So you guys are going to bed now, right? I think I have it backwards. Are you guys going to bed or is it your afternoon? Because I'm just waking up actually. Frey said the UT. Is that Utah, or did you mean to say the UK? Marina says, bye all Bobs, B.O.Bs. Lots of love, LOL. Oh, okay. Three of a Kind says 9:20 in the UK. Okay, good. Alrighty, so we'll see you in a couple of days. Everyone have a great day, night, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.